Hey everybody, it's Mike again. Today I'm coming to you from my home office. I've actually don't think I've done a podcast from here yet. You can see in the back I got all the Ravens jerseys and everything back there. That's my boy right there, Ray Lewis. Um, Remember, I'm from Baltimore, so I'm a Ravens guy. But anyway, the message today is it time for change? So that's the message for today. Is it time for change? And we're going to go a couple different angles here on this one today. We're going to talk about, is it time for change for you in your life? Um, we're going to talk about, is it time for change in the nation? Maybe in a certain industry that we could start with, that can make a positive change for everything, and then maybe start thinking a little bit bigger about what we could do to make more positive changes in this world, because that's what God's starting to challenge me to do now. He's challenging me to think. He wants me to think bigger, um, think for bigger, just bigger in everything. So I'm trying to do that, and I need your help to share these videos and continue to like them and comment on them and share them with your friends and share them with your families and share them on your social media pages. And that's the way we get the word out with these videos, because there's so many people out there, who just don't want to speak up about their faith and their belief in God, and Jesus and the Holy Spirit, and for whatever reason they're just scared and they just don't do it. They just, even people in prestigious positions, whether they're in politics, whether they're in Hollywood, whether they're in the musical industry, anything with fame, who have huge types of followings, Mr. I'm against all forms of censorship, Elon Musk, even, I don't know what his thoughts are on faith and religion and spirituality, but, hopefully he'll, one day realize that he needs God too, even though he may think he is God, he's not. Everybody needs God. Everybody needs to find God. But these people with these followings, if they would speak up and they would, come out and be confident and deliver messages like I delivered them, imagine the type of impacts you could have on so many people in this nation. And look, I know why you don't want to do it. It's because you're gonna get people that hate you too. But you should already be used to that. There's people that love you and there's people that hate you, and that's just part of life. And the more famous you get and the more prestigious you get, the higher up you get, you're always going to have your haters. And I love haters because, what I call haters is, it's having anger towards everyone reaching success. That's what a hater is. They're mad at you because you've reached success, you've reached fame, you've reached, this level of life that they may never get to. If they don't have God, they probably will never get to it. But so think big, think big. And that's another message. And then, another thing that came to me last night when I was praying is, and this is a tough one. This is a tough one, and I don't know where I'm going to go with this later, but no matter how evil a person is, no matter how bad that they are, there's still, you got to remember, in every single human being on earth, God is still in their heart. There's a little piece of him in there. And, people act out and they do heinous things and they do just terrible things that you could, unspeakable things, which was a good book, by the way. One of my college professors wrote that. I think it was Unspeakable Things, about child sex offenders. But believe it or not, they're usually hurting somehow, or there's usually some issue that they have unresolved that they haven't dealt with. And if they would just find God, they'd be able to deal with their problems with the man himself. He can help with everything. Um, so I just want people to remember that there is always God in everyone. And another thing that we kind of talked about, it's and I'm kind of all over the place with this time for change stuff, is throughout your life, when you were a kid and you would get an award, or you're at work now and you get a sales award and you think I'm number one in my company, or number one for the nation or whatever, especially in my industry, everybody is all about being number one. And if you're not first, you're last, and all that stuff. And it's all about the awards. And yet I can't tell you the last time that I've actually heard someone, other than the Olympics. I've heard a few athletes on the Olympics, first thing out of their mouth was, "This is all because of God." And I would challenge that, and I would say that awards you get, even people in Hollywood, even your Oscars, your Emmys, whatever other awards you get, rock stars, everybody, your awards should say on them, shouldn't have your name, shouldn't be your band, shouldn't be anything about you. It should say God. Every single one of them should say God, because He's the one that gave you the talent. He's the one that gave you the gifts that you possess to be able to do what you need to do to get those awards. It's all God. And you need to understand that. And as you start to read the Bible, and as you start to study it, and as you start to read some of the other books that I suggest to you, you'll start to learn that things aren't just a coincidence, and you're not just lucky. It's all a part of somebody's plan upstairs. It's the man upstairs that has the plans, you know? And that's the plan that I'm doing right now. I'm doing his plan. He wants me to come out here and do these podcasts and put out these messages and talk to people and say what's on my mind. It's therapeutic for me because it releases this energy that I have inside of me. It's unexplainable, when you get the spirit and it's inside of you and how it feels, and just to live through the spirit. And it's so that's another thing I wanted to talk about. And then something else that came out today, and these are probably all separate podcasts that I'm mentioning all these ideas, but I just figured we cram it all into one, like I've been doing now with my memes in the morning on my Facebook page. Instead of posting like one meme here, one meme there, I just put like four on the first page. That way people can just look at all of them, and it's stuff I found the day before, and I just post it the next day. But anyway, another thought that I had written down was, there is a difference between believing in something and having faith in something. And I want to spend a little time on this because, you can believe that there's a God, and you can believe that you're doing the right thing when you're feeding homeless people, or you're helping needy people out, or you're taking groceries in a bag to the food shelter that they need to send food out to people who need help with getting food. And you can believe that those are all things that you need to be doing, and then you can believe that you're going to go to heaven because of that. And there's that's not necessarily the case, because the difference is, with belief, I'll tell you something else you don't think about is the devil. The devil believes in Jesus. He believes that Jesus is real. He knows that Jesus is real. He knows how he got down here and how he rules this place. So he believes, but he doesn't have faith, because He knows he's not going to heaven. So he's not wasting time with that. He's wasting time with trying to corrupt as many people as he can to try to convince them that there is no God, that there is no Jesus, that there is no nothing positive that's going to come for them and help them and save them and help them get rid of their problems and get rid of their worries and get rid of their struggles and get rid of all the negative issues in their life, you know. But faith is kind of where actions come in, and faith is where you're following His way, where you're following the way of Jesus, and you're living your life like Jesus. You're doing what Jesus would do, and it's about having complete trust and just a knowing that everything is going to happen fine for you and that you're going to be taken care of because God's going to provide everything you need. And there's also a difference between what you need and what you want. God will decide what you need and He will give it to you. You can say what you want to God, but He will decide what you need. And it'll be different for everybody. Some people are called with a much higher calling to help a much bigger number of people. Some people are called just to be a good person and, work at the pizza store and be a pizza delivery driver and just be nice and just that's what you do. And you're going to have a house and, He's going to take care of you and provide you with what He's going to provide you with, and maybe that's a starting point for you. And then maybe He'll give you directions on how you can move yourself up from there if you want to, if you reach out to Him, if you pray, if you work with Him, if you believe in Him, if you trust Him. See, that's where the partnership comes in. But let's go back to this thinking big thing here, because the other day he challenged me to kind of make a list of some long-term goals that I would have. And he said, if you could do anything in the world, what would you do to try to help my cause, meaning God's cause, of trying to get people to Christ? So it was kind of like a fun brainstorming activity on what to do to bring people to Christ. And one of the top things on the list that I thought of, because I like to use what the devil does against him. So like that's part of this podcast and this YouTube technology here, because the devil has a lot of stuff on here too. You know what I mean? So it's like, did the devil create all this technology for us to make us distracted? Maybe, maybe not. But I'm going to try to use it for something good to turn it back on him if he did, So something big that I thought we could do as a well, two things. As a country on a national level, how can you impact people on a national level and as big an impact as you can have? And I thought about the music industry, and I thought about how you have different genres of music and how things got popular. And like in the 90s it was like the grunge rock music that I love so much because that's where I grew up, and I just feel like that was the best music ever. But then you had music in the 80s, you had music in the 70s and the 60s and the 50s, then you had music, then you got some of the crap, the absolute crap that's out there today. I mean, it's so bad, it's so crappy that you don't even have a term for the genre of it. It's how bad it is. And some of the stuff is good, some of the stuff is positive, but a lot of it is negative and dark and just evil, pure evil, when you look at it and you dissect the lyrics and you dissect everything. So there's gotta be some big musical person out there who can look at this opportunity that you're going to have in the next few years to be able to jump on something huge when more people start to believe in God and things start to change and things start to get better. If you jump on this bandwagon now and you're like the pioneer of this movement, you could do something huge and put Christian music on the map. I mean, there's Christian rock music, there's Christian country music, there's Christian rap music, there's Christian, you name it, they got it. And I've seen so much of it, and some of these people are so much more talented than some of the, sorry God, but jackasses that are out there right now and don't deserve to be out there right now, but they're just puppets, by other people, just using them to make money. And these people, the every one of their songs, the message is positive, it's good, it's about changing. And then you take that and you think, man, if we could pack a stadium full of 80,000 people for a concert, and instead of having all this demon music thrown in their face and having all this negativity thrown in their face, we have all this positive stuff thrown in their face. And all these great messages about God and Jesus and, beating the devil and all this stuff. Like that is important, because it's just that would change people's beliefs huge, you know and then the other one is the entertainment industry or the television industry. Why for the life of me we have these religious television networks, and they call them religious television networks. That's not what it's about. It's not about religion, because people see religion and they think, ew, I don't want to watch that. And it's always some old guy with glasses on doing some kind of preaching, and you're like, why am I watching this channel? Instead, why not have something like Christ TV and call it CTV, or call it JCTV, Jesus Christ Television, and show Christian music on there, show the concerts on there, have a Sunday morning, service on there, or maybe even have the President of the United States do a prayer for the country every Sunday morning on there. Or maybe show movies on there that are more Christian like and good for a family, and have that be the channel that people can go to that have kids, and they can watch these good wholesome family movies with good topics and good ideas and just good everything. Why do these executives at these television stations not come up with an idea like this is beyond me. You can start to reprogram people to the right things and the right ways, and stop filling with all this crap that's out there, all this darkness and evilness. And it's that's what it is. It's garbage, most of it. And I just, for the life of me, can't figure out why and what value it is that you put this crap on TV. The only thing that really could, also stay the same would be like sports. Sports is, it's competition. It's, people have to train, they have to compete, they have to do good, they have to win. You win or you lose, but you need to learn how to win, learn how to lose. A lot of lessons come from sports and the post game, pre game interviews, things like that. And I see value in the sports, but a lot of this other stuff and a lot of these shows, and it's time wasters. It's time wasters where you could be watching something good and having something give you suggestions on stuff. Jesus Christ Television. Um, so those are two things that I'm just thinking like big of, on my list of things thinking big. I have other things, and I have other ideas and suggestions. Some for, the way politics is run, and some of the stuff that he's given me for that. But I feel like for the most part, I've covered most of the stuff I needed to cover for today. I just I just want people to start believing in God and start believing in Jesus. Um, before it's too late. And the more help I can get out there from some people that have um, followings, you know, sharing this message and just saying something little like, check this out. This is pretty interesting stuff. I never thought this deep, you know? This is all about helping your spiritual self. Because I said this in another video and I can't remember which one, but in heaven, there are like three layers to heaven. There's like the layer that you see here outside, which is the sky that you see, the stars at night, all that is like the earthly heaven. That's like the flesh heaven. That's kind of like where I live in peace and bliss and harmony and joy and happiness, and just every day I live the same way. It's no stress. It's just no problems, no worries. Everything's gonna be taken care of by God, and that's how I believe, and that's how I live, and that's how it is. So that to me is the earthly heaven, which is not the best heaven because we still got the devil, man. I still got to deal with him when I'm out on the street. I'm driving around in my car. I'm going into stores. I'm interacting with people. He's everywhere. He's on TV. He's on the radio. He's in everything. He's in everything. He's in my business. He's in my industry. He's with other agents that I work with and I have to deal with. He's everywhere. And that's not, to me, that's not what heaven is. But the heaven here on earth that you can enjoy, that I feel you can enjoy, is to be able to live in total peace. To be able to live, it's like a taste. It's like a small taste of what you're going to get upstairs. You can kind of taste it, and when you taste it, man, you're going to be like, if it's this good down here, like I can't even imagine what it's like up there. Can't even imagine what it's like up there. And you need to get to the point where you say, I will do anything I can to get upstairs to that party upstairs. Because the second level of heaven is the spiritual heaven, is the spiritual level. And that's where all the spirits are. That's where all the angels hang out and they come down here and deliver messages and stuff. And yes, I do believe that there are angels here and that they do deliver messages, and it does come from people. So you better be careful who you talk to and who you say the wrong thing to, because you never know who you're talking to, and you never know who might be an angel from God. You don't know. It might be the homeless guy sitting on the corner. You don't know. God likes to use people like that. People like that people discount and they throw on the side. You never know. Angels are everywhere. And unfortunately, in Earth, you know what else is everywhere? Demons are everywhere too. Um, so it's spiritual battle that goes on, and it's completely invisible to us. We can't see it, we can't touch it, we can't taste it, but I will say our bodies feel it. Sometimes when you're feeling like you're beat down and you're run down, when you're trying to get close to God and you're trying to develop that spiritual relationship with him, that devil is doing everything he can to mess that up so that you can't connect. He does not want you to connect. He does not want you to make that jump. So you will go through some stuff, and you will go through some trials, and you will go through some tribulations, and it will not be completely easy. It's not easy street. It's not like just sitting down saying I believe in God and I confess my sins and now I'm saved. It's not how it works, you know. You got to earn it, you know. But the good news is that God's there for you, and He will help you through it. He will help you earn it, and He already beat the devil. He already beat him. So the he's already done. He's just hanging out down here on earth until God comes back and says, "Get the hell out of here! You're going." Cast him off in fire. You know. So, and that's all written. That's all in Scripture. You know. But we want to avoid God coming back. We want to avoid Jesus coming back, because we don't want this world to end. And I really feel like I'm getting the message that I'm getting from Him is like, just if we can get this thing turned around and we can get people turned around and we can change the world and change this nation first, change the United States first, get them on the right page, then we can be the model for the rest of the country to be able to go out and say, this is how we did it. This is how you need to do it. We're here to help you, and have ambassadors, whatever, going all over the place to change the world, to go to some of our adversaries that we may not have the best relationships with and try to convince them on, you know, what we're doing is the right way. And the thing is, you'll have God. God will have your back. So when you're doing His work, if these people don't listen, I mean, that's their choice because it's free will, but there's nothing stopping Him from applying some pressure, some real pressure. And that's where some of these freak accidents that you see that happen, they aren't so freak. God applies pressure. And I said this in another video, but if you don't listen to Him, if you don't follow Him, hey man, God bless you and God help you. Because I wouldn't want to be that person where He's coming after me. And that's not why I follow Him. I follow Him because I love Him and He loves me. And I get to live in peace. And you can too. You just have to follow Him. You just have to pick up a Bible. Pick up a Bible. You know? If you don't want to do that, get on the app. Get on the Bible app. If you don't want to do that, pick up a book. I think mine is called, I can't remember what it's called, but Following the Way or something about the way. But basically, going the way of Jesus, following the way of Jesus. And, remember, He was sent here to show us all an example of the type of human being that God wants us to be. That's why He was sent here. And people crucified Him and they killed Him because they just didn't want to put up with Him, because He was doing too much good to too many people, and some people in power got threatened by that. And that's what happens. And that's why a lot of people with a lot of power don't want to step up and they don't want to speak out, because they know there's a lot of people out there with power that got evil in them. But see, I don't care. I have no fear, none whatsoever, and neither should you if you got God. Because if you got God, that there's no fear. God's got your back. You're set. You are protected. It's checkmate. Signed, sealed, delivered. So, hopefully you guys, got the message, but now is the time for change. It's right now. Because I don't want to see God get PO'd and send Jesus back and end all this. I think we can fix this if we just do it. And the best part is, it's 100% free. It costs no money. It's not like we got to write a check from the budget to cover it. Everybody can do it themselves. in the comfort of your own home. Doesn't take much. It's a couple prayers and then helping a couple people. If everybody in this country, say half of the people in this country would just help one other person, the whole country would be fixed. If a quarter of the people in this country would help 3 or 4 other people, this whole country would be fixed. That's how easy it is. That's how easy it is. So it's not rocket science. It's just helping other people find Jesus and find God and save themselves and surrender themselves to Him. All right. I hope you heard a lot. I hope you learned a lot. And God bless you all. Thank you for watching this video. Please like it. Please comment. Please share. It means a lot to me. And I'm just trying to get the word out to as many possible people as I possibly can. Thanks again for taking time to watch the video, and I'll talk to you all later.